Saul, Wade. Thanks for coming on, Saul. I very much appreciate it, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here. Got shown around the office before coming in.
Cool.
Great to be here.
Yeah, cool, man. For the listeners out there, Saul is the founder and CEO of Good Reviews. How long ago did you start that?
Started Good Reviews roughly 2 years ago.
Cool.
Basically, for those who don't know me already, I used to head up an agency here in Sydney called OMG, doing PPC. I was there for roughly 4 to 5 years, but before that doing digital marketing and everything in between. Basically, at Good Reviews, we help business owners collect and display Google reviews.
Cool. Excellent, man. And so you were the head of PPC at OMG for a number of years?
Yeah.
Cool.
That's correct.
Yeah. And then what made you decide to start Good Reviews?
Basically, I went on a massive journey with OMG, which was a lot of fun. And at the end of kind of any job, you stop learning as much as you were. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do next? And that next for me was to go over to Europe and have a year basically freelancing and living life, which was fantastic. And then I said, oh, okay, I've sacrificed kind of professional development for a bit of fun.
Yep.
What am I going to do next? And then that led me to thinking of a variety of ideas, but the one that I did land on was Good Reviews.
Yep.
And I guess what was circulating for me a lot was during my tenure at OMG was the fact that I was getting asked by a lot of business owners, oh, hey, Saul, is there a Google review platform you could recommend? Mm-hmm. And I would have to refer the incumbents usually, which would be your Trustpilot or your Podium. And they come in at about $500 per business location, which for the average business isn't an accessible price point.
Yes.
Especially when you're looking at, multiple locations. One of our clients, for example, Doors Plus, they have, 30 odd locations, which for them would be a couple of grand, a month just on reviews where they could hire a full-time employee to go door to door with reviews at that point.
Yeah. 15 grand, right? It'd be a stack of money.
Yeah,
expensive.
Grand. Yeah, really expensive. So I saw a gap in the market and said, okay, well, how could we do it better, especially for those who service a localized area? So we don't handle e-commerce reviews. That's not us. If you're looking for someone in that space, I'd recommend reviews.io. They've got a really good product.
Yep.
But yeah, we're really specific to, localized business, those who service an area.
Multi-location, bricks and mortar.
Multi-location, brick and mortar, electricians, tradies, all that kind of stuff, lawyers, anywhere that you would go to Google and say, hey, XYZ near me business. That's who we serve, and that's who we're, trying to create awesome products for.
Yeah, cool.
Whereas, some of these other ones like Trustpilot, for example, whilst they are more expensive, they have some features that are absolutely awesome, and they may or may not be relevant to your business, but they all started as e-commerce specific. So a lot of it is a bit complex and bloated for, the local guys.
Yeah, cool. Cool. How important are reviews for businesses, man?
Well, it's pretty crazy. At the moment, there was kind of an industry case study that was made by Podium, which is a competitor, but they do a lot of great stuff. And they found that 90% of people now look at a review before purchasing offline. Yep. So that's shocking.
Yeah.
That 9 in 10 people who, come into your office, who, go through, who call your business, all of them have looked at a review before doing so.
I do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I think everyone does it.
Doing it.
Yeah.
And
even though also, there's always the question of authenticity with reviews, right? That's a big big thing.
It's a big thing, and I think the stats are something like 40% of people look for that authenticity when they're reading through them, and people can tell. Yeah, people can tell quite quickly, especially if there isn't a comment, even if that comment doesn't sound like the language used within that geographical region. Yep. So yeah, people are definitely looking at that, and authenticity is a big problem within the review space just generally. Yep. And no one's kind of solved it. Yeah. I would say no one has solved it, and that's because people are constantly Googling, hey, buy fake reviews and this kind of thing. Right. Competitors of other brands are buying reviews to put negative reviews onto, their key competitors and all this kind of shifty stuff. Yep.
There's also...
It's a jungle out there.
It is a
totally.
jungle.
And there's also the advantage that some businesses have, for example, in the IT sector, when they offer remote desktop support.
Yeah.
They can always say, hey, can I just take a couple of minutes and write a review if you're happy with it from your computer?
Your computer.
But, I think Google's done the best that they can by making it impossible for you to remove reviews, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's pretty difficult. We've been able to remove reviews for different clients who are using good reviews, but yeah, they have made it increasingly hard. However, their algorithm is getting better at detecting fake reviews and removing them automatically. Everyone's up in arms when when your business gets a negative review. It's the worst thing ever, especially if it's fake.
Yes.
And it really does have significant impact on a business's bottom line.
Yes.
Removing them, especially the fake ones, is something that you need to do, but is increasingly hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Go, Wade.
What are some of the tools to remove these negative reviews?
The best way to do it, essentially, we operate with Google and Google alone, but basically Google has a process in place, and if there's anything in line with their T's and C's that isn't considered a customer, is the easiest way to do it. So if you can prove that that person has no record within your business, they will take that under consideration and remove it. Also, any kind of foul language and anything like that, they will also remove it because it's not in line with their T's and C's, and we've seen some instances of lawyers getting involved and stuff like that. You can use different regulatory bodies, be it the Defamation Act in Australia, to get them removed as well.
Sure.
I remember, I don't know how long ago it was now, but some person, obviously some idiot that decided to put up a negative review that had nothing. They weren't actually a customer of the business, or there was something illegitimate about the reason they put that bad review up. They were sued by that plastic surgeon for was it a couple $100,000 or something
probably,
like that?
Yeah, there was a dentist one like that. Same thing.
Yeah, more recently the dentist one.
Yeah. It's definitely rife, and and people are going, business owners are going to the length to sue someone for $200,000 because it has that much impact on your business.
Totally, man. Yeah. I think in our conversation prior to this, Saul, the other day I was talking to you about how, that for me, I feel like reviews and social proof and stuff like that is if not the most important, marketing tool that you can implement.
Yeah, well, it's crazy. I think as we grow as a society and our consumer behavior changes, I think at the end of the day, people just hate to be sold stuff, but they absolutely love to buy stuff.
Totally.
And it's
that's come up a few times on the podcast.
Yeah, we've said that.
That disconnect is just crazy. And I think reviews aren't a hard sell.
Right.
They are authentic in most cases. They are, you may have a variety of questions when you're trying to spend your money somewhere. And is it going to be the best for my money? Can I trust these guys? Are they going to come on time? All these kind of things. And reviews answer all of those questions that the consumer has.
Yeah.
I think that one of the interesting things, just talking about consumer behavior, is that Google reviews now impact the entire funnel of the consumer buying decision. So if we start at awareness, let's say, Google reviews make up roughly, depending on what stat you look at, but about 15% of where you rank on Google, right? So, Google gives priority also to, local businesses, which they do through the map pack or the local 3 rating that you see. So I think roughly, once again, depending on what stat, but it's at 40% of all clicks will go through the local map pack, with about 25% going to the first position of those 3.
Yep.
So, being there and having reviews is dependent on review velocity predominantly, how often you're getting reviews, when your most recent was, what did it have comments, all these kind of things. So on that awareness stage...
Does replying to the reviews, do you think, has...
Definitely, I reckon definitely helps.
Yep.
And not so much on the, let's say, I don't know to answer the question directly on the SEO side.
Yes.
But on the consumer behavior side, definitely.
Yeah, cool.
It shows you care.
Yep.
And people learn more about the business by seeing how, their interaction is. Like if you're going to go and buy something from someone, it's going to be an interaction, right?
Yes.
So like let's interact on the web as well.
Yeah.
But so if we go from the awareness phase, like that's step one, and most searches are categorically based when it comes to looking for someone. Hey, my pipe broke, plumber near me is a category search. You're not looking for a specific brand, let's say. So that's a massive opportunity for businesses who do rank in that local 3-pack. And then once you're in there, it comes into, the consideration phase of consumer behavior, where you go, who am I going to spend my money with? Is it the person with 4.9 star rating and 500 reviews, or 8 reviews and a 3-star rating? No one's going to be clicking the person.
And 10 fake reviews can be forgiven even at that point as well. If they look at the profile, the overwhelming consensus is that they're the better company.
They're the best,
right? And so, I think that the answer the main question that it answers, I believe, with things like reviews and social proof, is, am I going to have a good experience with this company?
Exactly.
Right? And the more people you've got talking about having had a good experience after going with this company, drives that home. It's the emotional thing, right?
It is. It's definitely an emotional thing, and we as people have been looking for social signals ever since we were in caves. You know what I mean? Don't touch the fire. Okay, we don't touch the fire. You know what I mean? So looking at others to say, oh, they had a good experience. That is what's going on.
Yep.
And Robert Cialdini's book, I don't know if you guys have read it, talks about the power of influence, and it's a great book. I'd highly recommend it for anyone. But
which book's that?
It's called Influence. Yeah,
cool.
It's just called Influence. Yeah, Influence by Robert Cialdini. Basically, goes over. It's rated as one of the best marketing books to read.
Yep.
And it's because it's basically like science meets marketing spin. He kind of just wanted to work out why people do what they do.
Cool.
And it's really interesting. And like, for one example, they tested trying to skip a line, for example, just walking up the front and using an excuse to do so.
Yes.
And they used a variety of things, but it came down to just using the word because.
Oh yeah, the justifier.
The justifier was just because I need to, get home quickly or something.
Yes.
And when they used that, like, people were 50% more likely or something to let them in front. And from a marketing perspective,
I've read that. I've read that somewhere.
Yeah. If from a marketing perspective, great book, because you can go through and look at all these kind of things.
It's like if you're in the queue at a supermarket or something, and you say, "Hey, can I just jump in front of you?"
Yeah.
Not many people say yes, but if you say, "Can I just jump in front of you because I've only got one thing and I'm in a bit of a rush?"
Yeah.
You get a much higher. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess honing back on that kind of consideration phase and that social proofing aspect of it, I strongly believe it is more important than people think.
Yep.
It's something that we just do.
Yep.
Like with SEO agencies, for example, a lot of people, and PPC for that matter as well, aren't really looking at that to a massive degree. They don't say, oh, hey, we've got this local SEO package. We're going to, do your technical on-site stuff. Then we're going to link build locally and do your citations and your NAP listings and that kind of stuff. But reviews is often forgotten with a lot of agencies.
Yes.
And when it makes up 15% and has massive impact on your bottom line, I believe it's one of the more important things these days.
Man, up there with among the most important things.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we've discussed awareness, where you rank, then when you're being considered on Google, and then when you go through to the website, showing your reviews is really important.
Yep.
Now, at Good Reviews, we've kind of automated the process through a widget that sits on site, and it will automatically pull in your most recent Google reviews and show the customer.
Yep.
And for those who use us, we usually see a 45% increase in on-site conversion rate, which is massive.
Yep.
I had a hypothesis when I was creating Good Reviews to say, how can we use reviews to make business owners more money? And a lot of, other let's say use Trustpilot again, they'll have inline widgets generally, and they say, hey, see more reviews. And when you click that, it takes you to Trustpilot's website. And as any marketer knows, you never want anyone leaving your website. You want them, you know, booking that
on there as much as possible.
or making that call, which is what we try to facilitate. But even if you want to do it manually, adding social proof throughout, be it as seen in XYZ media and or, hey, recent experience from this person, is always the better way to go. But yeah, so we have, that's, I would say, further on in the consideration phase. But then you have, you know, purchase and then post-purchase. So on the purchase, you know, as I just mentioned, it does have the impact of people making a purchase decision.
Right.
For example, we run side-by-side A/B tests and case studies to, you know, prove out the hypothesis that we've had across, you know, a number of industries. And one electrician, for example, he made an extra 5K in his first week by just slightly increasing that conversion rate. And that's only, I think he went off the top of my head from like a 1.5 up to a 2.5. And, you know, it's just so impactful for him because, you know, as I said, $5,000 a week is amazing, and it just means his, you know, cost that he's spending on SEO, his PPC, everything has dropped as well because it has that kind of total effect. Which is,
you're talking about with conversion rates like form submissions and phone calls, right? Because so this is in e-commerce. Cool.
So form submissions and phone calls we tracked. He predominantly receives leads like most electricians do through phone calls. So yeah, we tracked that through Google Analytics, through Google Optimize, which is a great tool which you can use to A/B test. And we basically showed 50% with the widget, 50% of users without the widget.
Cool. How good's Google Optimize?
So good.
I
it's
remember
just incredible.
When I first discovered that, I was like, what? You can do this? You know?
Yeah, it's just an incredible product. Highly recommend if you want to do some A/B testing. Free as well. And other players in the market will charge you $5,000 a month for something similar to that product.
Yeah, totally.
I need to look into it.
Wade's looking at me like, what's Google Optimize?
Yeah, absolutely.
But on the consumer behavior stuff, if you continue on to the post-purchase, right? If we continue down that funnel, reviews show you, did you do good or did you do bad? You know, and why did we do good and why did we do bad? And that could be, you know, predominantly, I think people leave a negative review if it was a staff member. Generally, that's the biggest reason people do it, based on stats. But yeah, it's
like they've had a bad experience with a staff member.
with an individual staff member.
It's a personal thing. It's not like
it's not generally this, like, you know, the delivery or something like this. It's
if they half an hour late or something like that.
Someone rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
the death of customer service in 2021.
Customer's always right.
But
so it's a great way to analyze, you know, how are we actually doing and keeping a finger on the pulse of your, you know, breadth of what you do. We're in the feature rollout that we're currently doing, we're going to be pulling semantic indexing over it and pulling out, you know, kind of word clouds and everything like that, saying, hey, service is why you get good reviews, for example, and, you know, this person, Jared, is bad, and maybe you should see you later.
Cool. Oh, it was as in like a staff member that's getting mentioned a lot in bad reviews.
Stuff like that.
That makes sense.
So it's just it's incredible. I think I read a stat the other day which was like 30% of people have said they've sat outside a place and before they've gone in read a review. Before deciding to go in. And it's just, you know, it's just so crazy that all these little like kind of nuanced experiences that we go through and we quickly do are really impacting the dollar amount going through a place.
Totally.
Yeah,
you can have an effect on a business, right? Like a considerable effect. That's the thing. That's the scary thing about Google reviews, really. You know what I mean? I think that
word of mouth has more reach now.
Word of mouth has more reach, but also anyone can say anything, and you can't necessarily get it removed
or respond.
And it's something that is really powerful. Have you got some sort of like a buffer? Is there something that will potentially reduce the amount of negative reviews a business will get if they're with good reviews?
Yeah, so for us, we have a process. So one thing to note before we go into it, there's a thing called review gating.
Yep.
And it's basically really, really bad.
Yep.
And if there's a lot of people who do what we do out there who do review gate, and essentially what that means is if it's a negative experience, they won't allow the user to leave a Google review. And basically just on authenticity, it's not authentic. And Google will punish you for it.
Yes.
I've seen people, let's say, who've been around for 6 or 7 years in business with a great Google My Business profile, loads of reviews, picked up one of these softwares, and then Google's just wiped everything when they found out. So just be really cautious out there, everyone.
Google knows everything.
Google knows, and you will get found out. And if it's not today, it might be in 5 years. And like as a brand asset, which reviews are, you just don't want to take that risk.
Totally.
But yeah, with our system, essentially, a user will receive a communication with a 0 to 10. If it's below a 7, generally, it goes to a feedback form. And it says, hey, we really want to, hear what you have to say about us. At that part, if they have had a bad experience, the customer feels heard. They can vent whatever, frustrations they may or may not have
and
had.
maybe be contacted to rectify the situation.
And be contacted. And, the big thing is that some people will leave a 6 and necessarily didn't have a bad time.
Just their temperament.
They're just temperament. It's a relative kind of index. So some people will be like, well, you didn't roll out the red carpet, so I'm giving you a 6. And
well, they're not they're obviously not one of those people that walk around saying awesome all the time. When something, that's awesome, when it's really something pretty mediocre.
Yeah, pretty mediocre.
You get that a lot.
So if they after they submit the vented feedback, which most people don't do, is what we find. So that is a deterrence in itself. And then thereafter, they're met with a kind of landing page that says, "Hey, we really take this seriously," and blah blah blah. It's all customizable what you want to put in there, and then at which point it says, hey, if you like, you can also go on to Google, which we don't find most people doing because, as I said, they've vetted their frustration and they feel heard and they feel like you're going to make a difference based on what they've said.
Yeah, totally. And maybe there's an opportunity there where you'll say, we're actually going to contact you to try to...
Yeah. So all of the feedback that we get is tracked and put into our dashboard, and you can drill down onto the individual, their name, email, phone number, what they said, when they said it, what date they said it. And yeah, definitely we say to our customers, give them a call, say, hey, what's going on, thank you for that, and all those kind of things.
Yeah, cool. So in regards to the Good Reviews platform, how does it work? Like, do you have a link that you send to customers? It gets added to your invoice that you send out, or?
Yeah, so I guess the thing we were talking about at the start of this is displaying reviews and everything that is. But yeah, the second part of what we do, or the other side of the coin, is collecting reviews.
Yep.
So we have 3 predominant ways that we help businesses collect reviews. The most exciting, I think, is because business owners are very busy.
Yep.
We're all busy, so we've created an automated way to collect reviews, which our customers absolutely love.
Yep.
So essentially, when you sign up to Good Reviews, you get a unique email address, and you can use that to BCC into any communication that you send to your client. So, for example, an invoice, and then we'll automatically shoot over a review request where they'll go through that process that we just discussed.
Cool.
So yeah, that's awesome. I think 35% of people who receive a email request for a review will respond.
Cool.
Generally, so that's a kind of set and forget method, which people love.
Which is a much higher rate than otherwise just asking someone at the end of the job, hey, can you leave a good review when you get a minute?
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
It almost never happens at all.
Yeah.
Right?
So what about incentivizing reviews?
Incentivizing reviews basically is a grey space.
Yeah.
And
like if I pay you $100, will you leave us?
Well, not necessarily, but leave feedback. Next purchase, get 5% off or something like that.
So yeah, the grey space is basically this: you can't say I'll give you $100 if you leave me a good review, right? But you can say here's a voucher to anyone who leaves a review. Right? You just can't give it to the people who are going to do a good
job.
voucher.
Sure.
Kind of thing.
Cool.
So that is the space, but what we find is that people will just do it. People like doing it. People like helping people. You see platforms like TripAdvisor, for example, like the amount of hours people have spent, writing reviews on TripAdvisor or as a local guide within the Google context.
Is a fraction of the amount of hours people spent reading them.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, a fraction. Yeah, I would say.
For every one review that's been written on TripAdvisor, it's been read thousands.
Yeah,
tens of thousands of times. It really does influence the decision, right?
Yeah.
For something especially like TripAdvisor, where or Airbnb, or when you go in to look at.
It's the first thing I look at.
Yeah, man. eBay shops as well. Food. eBay supplies,
eating,
food, restaurants.
Yeah.
It's a big deal, man.
Yeah.
Does the length of review impact at all?
Yeah, essentially, like the longer the better, but not. I think around 200, character length is probably the sweet spot.
Okay.
People don't want to read too much, and they don't want to read too little.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of common sense. They did a good job. It's
2
like,
sentences,
okay,
3
sweet.
sentences.
Yeah, 2 to 3 sentences.
Yeah. Or the blank 5-star.
Or the blank.
Yeah, the blank 1-star.
We don't like the blanks.
Nah.
Leave a comment.
What about
Yeah,
emojis?
Emojis?
Yeah, add them in. Depends.
Why not?
If it's you, do it.
Yeah.
But
how does that work with the algorithm? Just cowboy emoji 10 times.
Cowboy emojis everywhere. But we do that automated fashion. When people sign up, we also have like email campaign now, basically. So multi-send with like a few clicks. So what we recommend is, most people who sign up to shoot off a mass kind of skyrocket campaign, we call it, because most business owners haven't asked people for reviews, and that's a massive opportunity. So when people sign up, we say, hey, send this campaign out first. And we generally see 25 new reviews within the first week coming through that way, and then set up these automated, tools that we have to just keep it as a set and forget. We also have a link mode as well. So basically how that works is you can use it anywhere you would use a URL. So QR code, business card, email signature, direct SMS send, and all those kind of things. That's all covered. And we also have an in-store mode, which is basically exactly the same, except for collection, next to the cash register and those kind of things.
Cool.
Three kind of combinations of tools that kind of service everything that you'd need to, constantly collect reviews. And we generally see about 121% increase in reviews collected every month. And in our dashboarding system, you can see, how many reviews have been collected, reviews month on month. You can see your projected reviews for the rest of the year, where you're going to hit. You can see how many people engaged with the Good Reviews widget. You can see how many reviews were read on your website. You can see your review distribution by star rating and all these kind of great metrics. So you can really get a massive handle on, exactly how your online reputation is going.
Cool. Yeah. Right. So as a business owner now, Saul, what's been your experience? How do you feel about how Good Reviews is going? What was it like at the start?
The start was fun. Designing, creating, and putting together. Hey, what does this look like?
Yep.
We launched just before the pandemic, essentially, and for local business owners as our target market. Marketing was the first thing to go.
Yes.
Business expenses got very tight around those times, but it gave us a great time to those who did stay with us and all those kind of things, and the customers that we did have. It really allowed us to do a lot of beta testing, essentially, and really work out what people want. After that, we did a round of investment in January, which was great. That was a great, fun thing to go through as well.
So how did that work? Who did you pitch to? Where did you go?
I was basically it was kind of organic the way it happened. I hadn't really thought about it. I was kind of, I'm going to bootstrap this thing and see where I can get to. But I was talking to a company called Potentiate. And they do surveys and research much more in depth than like a Google review, right? So they've got customers like the big 4 banks, Toyota, all the car brands as well. So a really big business. And we were talking to them about potentially offering the car dealerships a review solution that wasn't, offline review and feedback, but for Google reviews. And then we were having a conversation. I was looking for a CTO at the time, and I asked their CTO, "Hey, do you know anyone?" And then he said, "Yeah, I think we do." And then said, "Okay, actually the owner of our company wants to talk to you. And then anyway, long story short, he turned out to say, I think you've got something really good here. I'd like to get involved.
Cool.
So did he jump ship?
No, he just
gave them some money
and mentorship.
Perfect. Yeah, that's cool. Even better.
Yeah, so he put money and mentorship in, and he's been absolutely great.
Was there a hardcore negotiation about valuation at that stage, or
no? Not particularly. It was very laid back.
Cool.
He said, "Show me the stats and the data and your growth," and I showed him that kind of stuff. And he said, "Where do you think this will get to?" And I said, "This is where we could go. This would be the dream, and this is where we could fall short. And either way, he'd get his money back."
Yeah, right. Yeah, cool.
Basically. So
you win a lot or you win a little.
Yeah. And that, with investors, like he's bringing in a $1 billion fund into Australia to help the startup community, which is
awesome,
incredible. But yeah, he's great. He's very hands-on, but not too hands-on as well. So we check in kind of weekly. I'm actually seeing him after this.
Cool.
To check in. But yeah, things have been going really well at the moment after, we kind of get out of the pandemic and consumer confidence has come back.
Yes.
And people are like, okay, we're going to live with COVID and Omicron now.
Yes.
Let's get into it.
They didn't want to call it the next letter in the Greek alphabet, right?
Yeah,
because that would have been XI or Z.
But Omicron is a Greek letter, I'm pretty sure.
As well, yeah. But they kind of just skipped it.
They just skipped it.
Let's not call it
consumer confidence is definitely coming back, and we've been growing about 30% every month at the moment, which is fantastic.
I was going to ask you about that, how it's going.
It's good. And as a business owner, it's all a struggle. Every day is, a massive win or a massive fail. And you go through, I think, as a startup kind of person or as an entrepreneur, I think the hardest thing is the mentality. I think it's the ability to just stay the course and to continue
fight the fear,
continue doing it,
have the vision even on the days when it's not working.
We had moments where, and I'm sure you have as well, Billy, just where everything is about to collapse.
Oh, and it's often also just totally mental.
Yeah.
It can be in your head. Like one little, you have a good day, and and nothing can hurt you. Everything just washes off you. You've got it's happening.
Teflon Don.
Yeah, you're in the zone, right? And then there's other days where it just takes the smallest thing.
Smallest thing.
One unhappy customer, or one the internet,
or the coffee machine's descaling.
The coffee machine needs descaling.
Yeah,
and you just feel like it's all just crashing down around you. Like you can
absolutely.
You can go through that. So did you find right at the start, was that something that you found challenging?
Yeah, I think I had a little bit of that naive kind of, let's just go through it. This is going to be great, and then, when you get into the weeds, it is a hard process, and I can see why, most people don't do it and or get out.
Yeah,
but, honestly, I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I love doing it so much, and I wouldn't do it, just for the money. That's not who I am.
Yep.
But I'm just constantly learning new things that, I didn't know about, constantly meeting new people like yourself and Wade.
Yep.
And, it's a great journey.
Yeah,
and if it turns out to be nothing, I've gone on a good ride,
Yes.
and I'll absolutely love it.
Well, I think that you're in a space that's rife with opportunity. I think it really is.
I think that it's just going to continue on, especially with the rise of user-generated content and everything going on there, what's working in the ad space and everything like that. But we're currently, building out video reviews into our platform. And I think that, video reviews where you just handhold it. I think I saw you the other day doing a
man.
Yeah.
You're famous.
I got my arm twisted into that.
Was that on TikTok?
Yeah,
I think I got served, and I was like, Billy.
That was on TikTok. Yeah. We're having a lot of fun here. Like one of the things, because we do UGC ads, when there's things that we want to keep, the team or I like to do them. We're like, we've got, for example, some stuff coming, a massage gun, a jumping castle.
Jumping castle?
Yeah,
How big is
like
it?
a kid's water slide jumping castle,
Okay,
backyard
awesome.
style thing.
That's mad.
And so my daughter wants that. And so,
What daughter wouldn't?
rather than send it off for free to someone else,
Send
we're
it to
kind
me.
of
We'll do it.
we'll do it. That's right.
Micro-influencer.
So that's one of the major advantages of doing UGC ads as an agency is you kind of get all this free stuff, which is really cool.
Oh, sure. Well, at least you get to actually do it from an authentic approach.
Exactly.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
We know what we're
you-
talking about when we're doing it.
Right.
And that's because you probably offer more than just the UGC. Like, you get to understand the product. So I think it's great. I think it's a really great fit.
Good fun. The main thing is also it's just so much fun.
Much fun.
It is. You don't want to give that away to other people.
No,
it's-
definitely
You got to pay for that fun.
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think that, the rise of UGC and everything like this is just going to become more and more and more and more prevalent.
Yep.
I think that we've got a limited time left on a lot of kind of ad formats.
Yes.
Consumers are really getting used to download this ebook and stuff like that.
Yep.
And seeing people talking about their experience and why they love something is, it's hones back into that social proof kind of thing.
And it doesn't really. I mean, that's kind of the ultimate.
It is.
As far as until Mark Zuckerberg and the metaverse bring out some sort of augmented reality, a video of someone legitimately sitting there saying, "I've used this product. Here's me using it. I love it. You should get one."
Yeah.
How you gonna get any better than
You
that?
can't get better than that. And I love it because, it was only 5 to 10 years ago that people were putting the whole production company into, one of their customers and saying, can you talk about how your experience was with our brand?
Yes.
And that doesn't feel authentic. Like,
No,
a
it's
business
60
owner isn't
minutes or
paying,
something,
a business owner isn't paying 10 grand to get a production company
Man,
over to a customer who's going to talk badly about them.
It's changed so much.
Yeah, it's
the
changed
intro's
so
out.
much.
Like you don't do intros anymore with videos. You've got to jump and cut straight to it. And I think now the rise of and what we're working on here is CGI and motion graphics.
Yeah, great. I saw the green screen.
Yeah. That's fun, man.
Yeah.
That green screen is limitless
That's
potential.
a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I think it's just going to continue, and I think it's going to continue. Like, I think TikTok's really big right now with all that kind of stuff, and Facebook, and on the website, of course. But from the Google perspective, I think it's a really natural progression for them to start doing video reviews within their review GMB.
Totally. Yeah. They've already got. Is there photos?
There's photos.
Yeah.
So you can do photos, but not videos yet.
Cool.
And I strongly believe that's just around the corner.
It's got to be.
Which is why we're building it out at the moment.
They're data pigs.
Data
They're
pigs.
information pigs, and they
If they can get your face moving in a clip.
Well, it's also just more data for them.
That's what I
mean.
mean.
You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
they're just eating up all the data. You can't delete the data that they've got once you give it to them.
Where does all the data go?
Oh, have you seen the Google
servers?
Yeah. Have you seen the images of the Google data centers?
No.
On Google, if you look it up, it's so cool.
Yeah.
It is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. But it's all the same.
People think the internet's in the cloud or, the internet's just out there. It's all the computers connected. But an actual picture of what the internet is a windowless building.
Yeah, here we go.
what I mean?
Got it on screen. That's what it looks like.
Pop it up.
Whoa.
Yeah, man, that's the internet.
Quite colourful.
Yeah.
Surprisingly. Lots
Yeah,
of
they put some effort
fancy
in.
lights. My lord. Well, back to reality.
Yeah,
Back to
man.
reality.
So totally video reviews make sense for them.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's...
It'll be interesting to say, like, this is just on the metaverse and everything, how reviews play into that space.
Right.
There is going to be the TripAdvisor of the metaverse. There is going to be a Facebook of the metaverse, even if it isn't Meta, or whatever
Totally,
they want
man.
to call themselves.
Yep.
But I think that
everything that's currently now, in the real world will be sold in the metaverse world.
Yeah.
Right. So like tours,
yeah,
accommodation, like meeting places.
Yeah.
I think
Everything.
Did you listen to the podcast between Mark Zuckerberg and Gary Vaynerchuk?
no, I haven't listened.
It's
to
a
it.
cracker, man.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's so good.
I just when Zucks talks, I can't stand it.
Really?
Yeah,
Why?
he just feels so fake and weird, and
Mate, he might be a lizard.
yeah,
you know that,
might be
right?
a
That's what they
lizard.
say.
Wow.
Even the promo video, which they would have spent hundreds of millions of dollars on,
Yeah.
like it just felt so
He is a bit.
He doesn't get it.
Yeah.
He does not get it. He knows how to make money, but he doesn't get it.
Yes.
You know, like what, using the Sweet Baby Ray's thing as a book holder?
Yeah.
Like what, mate? You're a billionaire.
Yeah. And he's like, one of my favorite games, Grand Theft Auto. And it's like, you've never played Grand Theft Auto in your life.
Yeah, man.
But
that's a good game. Well, it was back in the day. Back when I was 15.
I loved Vice City.
Yeah, man.
That was the one.
That was the
I love
best
music on
Scarface.
it.
Yeah.
Miami.
I played Grand Theft Auto religiously from the first one, GTA, with the top view down and the little flamethrower spinning guy and stuff.
The very first one, like the 8-bit, 16-bit thing.
I was obsessed with those when they were around. But the metaverse thing's going to be massive with that.
I think that a couple of the things we spoke about on reviews authenticity can be solved in the blockchain, which I think is really interesting. And we're starting to look at it potentially, but the time horizon to be both early and right is a massive business decision for us to make. But essentially you will be able to, solve fake reviews, I believe, based on the technology that's, presented.
Well, what about you've got Clutch? Clutch reviews seem to be the closest to, I suppose. I mean, you can still write fake reviews on there. But it's a much, much longer and harder process to put a review on.
The harder you make it to leave a review, the less fake. So it's a balance, isn't it?
But the less also legitimate good ones your happy customers are going to be willing to give you because it takes 30 minutes.
I got called for one the other day at like 9 p.m. at night, and I was like, "What are you doing?
Why are you?
Why are you calling me at this time?
They have no idea.
Would you like to leave a review for XYZ business?" And I was like, "Yeah, maybe in like business hours." I'll do it, but
what made you think I was American, man? Why would I be up helping businesses at 9 p.m.?
Yeah, exactly.
It's not Australian. Stop calling me at this time.
Yeah, no, exactly.
The Indian thing too is like, they didn't answer. Let's call them 14 more times in a row.
They've got it on Do Not Disturb. We need to call twice.
That's right. Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, I think overall, the review space is, it's super exciting. And it is super exciting for me as well because we are impacting businesses. And we've put something out there that is a really, like, we charge $50 a month to put into comparison. And that's, that's a really achievable price point and accessible for most businesses. So
compared to like $500 a month or around that mark. With the other guys.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And, with that kind of set and forget functionality, that's what we're, trying to deliver.
Yep.
So that, because we are serving the electricians or the lawyers or these kind of people. So it's an easy kind of set and forget that's sorted now for us.
Yep. The reviews just keep sort of consistently flowing in.
A consistent flow, and then, kind of building product to help these people automate the process. So what we're looking at,
it still will depend on the level of service provided. Of course.
Well, it's all marketing. You can you can't throw fuel on a non-lit fire. Let's say.
Right.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't work. Marketing only amplifies what's working.
Right.
But I think that we're trying to do like automated replying to reviews as well.
Yep.
With like ruling systems and stuff like that to make it even more set and forget.
Yeah. Cool. Cool.
Which is cool, yeah.
Exciting space. It sounds like you've kind of gotten over the hardest part, the hurdle, with the startup, and you've got someone investing and
it's as I said, fun journey, and we just signed a partnership agreement with Square Payments, which is a massive thing for us.
Wow.
So they've got, they wouldn't say exactly, but roughly 10 to 15 million businesses on their platform.
Yes.
So we're trying to, once again, kind of automate review collection for their users.
Yeah, cool.
Which is, an amazing opportunity for us. So we're currently working through building out the integration with them.
Cool.
And we have a pilot program that will happen in January with Nissan.
Yep.
With their dealerships.
Awesome.
Exciting times. I really feel like this year was kind of
How did you strike these deals? Was it just through basic networking outreach?
Square was networking, outreaching, talking to like 20 people, and then getting to the head of partnerships over in the US and having a chat to him and saying, hey, I think this is a perfect fit, for, your customer base and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, I agree. Let's do this.
Cool.
And then the Nissan thing came through the investor because of his, background with, the automotive industry and everything like that. So hopefully if the pilot's successful, which I'm sure it will be, we can kind of vertically roll out to everyone.
Fantastic, man.
Fingers crossed.
Are you going for another round of funding at some point? Are you going to raise some more capital?
It's really dependent on how I would say the next 6 months go.
Yep.
It's kind of still me just wearing most of the hats of business. But yeah, if let's say the Square thing goes well, if we even get 0.01% of that market share, we probably wouldn't need to get investment.
Yes.
Or the other option is, hey, this is where we are now, and the equity that you would be giving up for further investment would be a hell of a lot less.
Yes.
Depending.
I
would say the answer is, and I think
opportunity cost.
Yeah, I'm definitely haven't been, where are we gonna? Here's the big business plan for a year. It's so adaptive and everything moves so quickly. Like we had, for example, a 6-month rollout of new features, and then Square came along, and that's all dropped until we do the Square thing.
Yeah, cool.
And it's also like, even if we were going to do a raise, it's like, now everything's changed.
Yeah.
So and that's what I found doing this. Like every 3 months something massive happens, or be it positive or negative, where everything has to change and we have to adapt.
You don't want to raise money now at a valuation that's like a fraction of what it will be in 3 months or 6 months, right? With the Square thing.
Exactly. And I don't know at this time, but I don't know if that is the path for us, because it would only amplify marketing activity and staff hiring.
Yeah, cool.
Which the staff hiring stuff would be nice.
Yeah, man, totally. Yeah, you could give one of those hats away.
Give one of the hats away, but definitely want to keep it very lean.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Good, man. Yeah. Awesome, Saul. I'm excited for you, man. I think this is great.
I really appreciate it.
And I also think that it fits perfectly. Like, for any of the business owners out there that are listening, and, reviews are important. They're if not the most important, they're up there with the most important persuasion or marketing boxes that you can check on your landing page and on your website.
Definitely.
So being able to solve that problem more affordably for businesses is massive. I think you guys are going to smash it.
Thank you. We hope we do.
Yeah.
We'll have to get you in 6 months and see where you're at.
Definitely. Well, I'll come back.
If you've still got time for us.
Yeah, exactly.
See me on a yacht.
Well, let's pencil it in now.
But we do offer a 14-day free trial if anyone wants to give it a crack.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Cool. And how can people sign up on that? Go to your website?
Yeah, just go to goodreviews.io.
Yeah. Cool, man. Okay.
Change your life, change your business. Change your reviews.
Yeah, change your reviews. But
I love Wade's inputs, man. He's so good at this. It's great. Thank you, Wade.
You're welcome. I can't just sit here looking back and forth the whole time. It looks weird. I've got to say something.
Good. I want you to. Say more. That's great, man. All right. Thanks, Saul. Yeah. Okay, thank you for coming on. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Let's wrap this thing up.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, cool. We'll do it again, eh?
Yeah.
Cool. Peace out, guys. Hope you enjoyed that, listeners. Don't forget, goodreviews.io. Peace.
Peace.